Happy Make It Monday. I've been having trouble getting myself together for this, and it's a lot later than what I was hoping to do this, so I'm sorry about that because I know that there's some of you anxiously awaiting tonight's DIY recipes, neither of which, by the way, did I actually come up with on my own. They're ones that I saw other places online, so I don't want to take credit where it's not due. Anybody want to tell me what your drink of choice is this evening? Because I tried a lavender hot chocolate and it was really good. It was really different. I'd never had something like that before, but it was really good. So I just thought I would share that with you. We are making two great things because, as you know, we're kind of making some things that are good giftables for whatever kind of Valentine's Day celebration you're having, whether it's Galentine's or Palentine's, or you want to make something for loved ones, or you just need some things to pamper yourself. All of those are super important. But we are making bubble bath and a muscle rub. One of the things that I really love about having ingredients on hand to make things like this is, one, just the fact that I saved us a trip to the store and I feel kind of self-sufficient and proud that I can make something for my family and my kids. And also the fact that when we make our own things, I know exactly what's in it, and I'm saving us from chemicals that could be harmful. I'm not really an expert in that area. It's something that I never even thought anything about until the last maybe like year and a half or so, maybe even in the last 6 months. But I think that I've always just thought, like, if it was on the shelf, it's probably safe for us to use. And I've started just being more of a studious person when it comes to the decisions that we're making about our purchases. And I just encourage you to just make good, conscious choices, good, educated choices, because unfortunately, just because it's available doesn't mean that it's what's best for us or for our families or kids or pets or anything. So there's a couple disclaimers that I wanted to give you specifically about the bubble bath. One is that I've never made it before, so I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but we'll try it. And if we don't like it, we'll try another one some other time. But the other one is, I know that the bubbles that it makes are not going to be the kind that I think of when I think of like having a bubble bath and, like, you know, making a giant hat out of them or like putting on a shirt of the bubbles. They're not going to last as long and not be as large as the bubbles I remember, because this one won't contain the surfactants or chemicals that make those bubbles large and last so long. So it's going to save us from, like, first of all, fragrance. I don't know if you guys have seen that documentary Stink yet. I think it's still on Netflix. It was really interesting. Definitely like one-sided. So, you know, probably kind of biased in some areas, but eye-opening and a good thing to watch if you have some time or have the interest. So it saves us from fragrance, that companies don't have to tell us what ingredients are in it, what chemicals are in it. So that's just something good to be aware of. It might be fine, but if it's not, it's better to know usually. Also, it saves us from parabens, some forms of formaldehyde, and also from sodium lauryl sulfate, which has been kind of a debatable chemical for several years. It's been kind of a hot topic. And I didn't really know very much about it. And I thought, okay, well, I just want to be like informed. What can I learn about it? And I chose places that offer information that are supposed to be purely scientific, which I feel like research can just always be biased depending on who's doing it, how you word it, whatever. You can almost make research say whatever you want, I feel like. But I use sources that are supposed to be reliable, that are like agencies to help monitor safety. So I'll be sharing some links for you to reference afterwards, just so that you know. But the terminology is like vast and technical, and I just want to encourage you that it's worth wading through and trying to get information about. But I'm going to look at some of my notes over here. I really hate to do that, but I couldn't remember everything, so I wrote some things down that I wanted to share. This is basically what I surmised from the research that I did. Sodium lauryl sulfate is a foaming and cleaning agent that is found in a lot of different products, a lot of cosmetic products and some cleaning products also. And it can be, sodium lauryl sulfate in and of itself can potentially be kind of harsh to skin. So anytime a product is made that contains a harsher product, there's a process that they can put that chemical through, and it combines that chemical with ethylene oxide. And that, unfortunately, is a known carcinogen. The EWG.org website has a portion of it called Skin Deep, where you can look up like ingredients and chemicals and also specific brands or products. And it gives you on a scale of 0 to 10 how safe they are for you to use. And 0 is the safest and 10 is the worst. And ethylene oxide is a 10, the worst. So it takes a harsh chemical, combines it with ethylene oxide, a known carcinogen, which I just think is really kind of a crazy thing to do. And that process is called ethoxylation. And then that creates like a more gentle version of the chemical. It's more suitable for use than in skin or hair products. But a byproduct of this is the contaminant that's called 1,4-dioxane. And that scores an 8 on the EWG website. It's also a carcinogen. Its presence in cosmetics, like any product like used on the body, is especially dangerous because it can be quickly absorbed through the skin. The FDA doesn't currently require labels to tell you if a product contains that. Products can be tested for this contaminant after they're produced, but most companies don't have that done. And without labeling specifically that this is in there, you wouldn't know unless you look for like specific ingredients that could be contaminated with it. So a giveaway is if your product says sodium laureth sulfate, it's ETH in the middle, and that tells you specifically that it was the sodium lauryl sulfate combined with the other ethoxylene or whatever that was. But other ingredients that you can look for are like on the label, there will be a capital PEG, PEG ingredients, any polyethylenes, any chemicals that have oxynol or xynol or cetareth or olith. I just didn't know anything about these before. So we just looked in our house to see if we could find any of these, and we found them literally, like 3 minutes in, we had found it on 3 products. There was a PEG product in Greg's deodorant, and we had it on toothpaste, and then also a foaming hand soap that we were given had a PEG ingredient and laureth in it. So I just challenge you to go to your, wherever you keep your cosmetics and stuff, and just take a look at them for some of those ingredients. And if you post something that you found that surprised you, we'll just send you a prize or something. But it's really interesting, and I feel totally empowered that I know this now, and like I can make better decisions for my family. So making these things are fun and usually really cost effective, and we're avoiding things that could be really dangerous. So that is your science lesson for tonight. Believe it or not, I really didn't learn that much in my college chemistry class about actually chemistry. Mostly I just learned about bass fishing. But still, all that is really serving me well to this day. So let's go on to making our DIYs. The first thing that we're going to make is our bubble bath. It just has 3 ingredients, which I just think is so great. And the first one is going to be our Castile soap, which I'm so glad to be using some of. I got some on Amazon for the first time a few months ago, and it was like a buy one, get one. So we have 2 like giant bottles, and you can literally use it for almost anything that you can think of. And I had no idea when I bought it that it could do so many things. But anyway, I'm excited to find some other recipes that we can make with it. So it's going to be 3/4 of a cup of this soap, and it's unscented, which I recommend because you can always add your own if you have oils at your disposal, or you can just leave it unscented if you'd prefer. But we're going to put scent in ours so that we can have like a nice calming bath. Doesn't that sound so nice? Okay, we have 3/4 of a cup of that soap. And then 1/4 of a cup of vegetable glycerin, which I've never purchased before. Literally, it came from Amazon Prime today, just in time for this recipe. And if it hadn't come, I would have just pretended like I was putting it in for your own benefit. But okay, so 1/4 of a cup of that. And then the last thing, this is all you would have to do if you want, but if you have oils at your disposal, then I'm going to be doing lavender because it's safe for the kiddos and has really great calming benefits, and who doesn't need that? So I'm going to do 6 drops of lavender. This is kind of like trial and error. I don't know what we'll think about how strong it is, but we'll try it and see. We'll do one more. Okay, so that's it. Isn't that so easy? And you just swirl it around and you can keep it in your jar. I don't know why. I just always feel so great keeping stuff in jars. I know that's kind of silly, but I think it makes me feel kind of pioneerish. I was telling Greg recently, like, I think if I could live any reality TV show, I would pick like an Oregon Trail situation. Did any of you guys play Oregon Trail? Do you miss that? That's one of the first computer games I really remember playing. And anyway, so then we watched, was it Pioneer Quest on Amazon Prime? And these people like had to live in the wilderness for a year. And after the first episode, I decided I would not even pretend that I could do that. So anyway, so here's our awesome bubble bath. You just add a tablespoon of it at a time until it's as bubbly as you want it to be. I'm really interested to see what the kids think of it. I'm really excited to try it. And I saw there's so many different recipes. Some of them had sugar in them. I saw one that used egg white to help keep the bubbles stay longer, I guess, but then you had to keep that one in the fridge. And so anyway, if we don't like this one, there's a bunch of other ones to try, but this would be a really fun gift. I was thinking I might put these in some little jars and make them look fancy for the kids for Valentine's Day. Okay, the next thing is a muscle rub. Are any of you guys still sticking with like a good workout plan since your resolutions? I'm doing that like fitness challenge, and my mother-in-law joined in and I'd offered it to a bunch of other people. It's going really good, day 25 of 30. So if you guys are still sticking with your program, I applaud you. And if you haven't, just start again. Tomorrow's new. And I just encourage you to not give up because it's worth picking back up wherever you left off. But this muscle rub, I have to get my recipe here because we really love this. This is something we've actually made before and it's really easy and we really love it. All it takes is, again, there's just 3 ingredients. There could be as little as 2 ingredients if you wanted, but you just need a half of a cup of coconut oil that you melt however you want to, either in the microwave if you're a heathen like me, or if you want to use a double boiler and feel really fancy. So you just melt it. It's completely liquidy. And I'm going to do 6 drops of PanAway. It's one of my like favorite oils in the kit that I wouldn't have known to get otherwise. Like I wouldn't have bought it if it wasn't in the kit, but they're really smart because now I never want us to run out of it. It smells really good. There's wintergreen and copaiba and helichrysum and I can't remember what else, but it smells really great and it's really good for inflammation or muscle discomfort. All right, so I'm going to do 6 drops of that into our half of a cup of coconut oil. Oh, I hear Isaiah. Greg's on baby duty right now. Okay, and then 2 drops of peppermint, and that's really great for inflammation. It can help if you have a pounding head. It will help give like a cooling sensation to your muscles, so that's great too. Some of this might sound kind of familiar. It's pretty similar to our tension tamer roller that we made a while back, but sometimes it's just really nice to have a cream to rub on an area of discomfort, and I just really like that sometimes. So then all you do is you just stir it up. I can't find my spatula, but you just swirl it together and then you can pour it into whatever container you want to store it in. You can either let it sit out and it's going to re-solidify into like the same texture that your coconut oil comes in, way more solid. Or if you need to speed up the process, you can just put it in your refrigerator and let it cool off more quickly. But it smells so good. If you are having any trouble like with a stuffy nose or any kind of icky bug like that, this could help you breathe more freely. Really great. You can put on your temples if you have like a pounding head or a tense head. Really good to use after you've been like bent over your phone or your computer. Ladies, you can actually also use it on your abdomen during that really super fun time of the month. So really genuinely, actually, now that I think about it, all of those minus that last one, this is like a must have for parents if you have a lot of tension or a pounding head, or if you need some help with a bug that you're fighting because your family needs you to be well, this is really great. So all of those, lavender from the bubble bath, pan-away, peppermint, all in the starter kit. I love to utilize those oils and help people learn other ways to be using them. So you could just pour this, like what I'm going to do is pour them into those little giftable containers that I have. There's no citrus oils in here, so this is safe to store in those. So anyway, that's what we're going to do with ours. I would love to know what you've tried with your oils, if you've tried anything new recently. If you have any questions, I would love to help you. And I hope you guys have a really great Valentine's Day. And I hope you have a really great rest of the week too. We'll see you later.